coronavirus. There's a lot of different things that we're just going to touch up on because obviously it's new news almost every single day. So we don't even know what's going to happen with the league resuming. And then, do you want to tell them about what we're doing after that?
Yeah, then we'll be talking about the award races, just our take on who's going to win each of the awards.
Yeah.
MVP, six man, defensive player, rookie of the year, coach of the year.
Yeah. So that's obviously going to be probably the main part of our podcast. But the first, I guess, 20 minutes ish, we're gonna talk about all the news that's just been coming out the past few weeks because obviously the NBA is ramping up their preparation for resuming the season in Orlando. And as of today, we don't know any new cases yet, but as of today, 16 out of the 302 NBA players test positive for coronavirus, which means that's about 5%. And some notable players who tested positive, because obviously not everyone has disclosed this information, are let's see. So Malcolm Brogdon from Pacers, Indiana Pacers, Jabari Parker and Alex Len from Sacramento Kings, and I'm pretty sure Buddy Hield also from the Kings. So yeah, there's some notable players, especially because Brogdon is a key player for the Pacers, and yeah, so that's definitely kind of concerning. Obviously, it's pretty obvious that once you ramp up testing, you're gonna have more cases. But what do you think about this?
Yeah, it makes sense. I think there is going to be an upward swing in corona cases coming up here, especially since people are just not social distancing nowadays. So it makes sense. And with the league opening up, there's just going to be a lot more cases. So
yeah, but the good thing is that
back down and not playing the rest of the season, it's definitely understandable.
For sure, yeah. The good thing is that also they're testing now, which is a month away from the league resuming. So at least people, if they do show symptoms, they can actually fight the virus off or get some treatment, whatever the case might be. The one thing I'm surprised about is why people are testing now, especially as NBA players. If they know that they're going to go back and play, are they just not quarantining properly, or is it just that much? Does it take that much longer for your body to get rid of the virus, even if you're asymptomatic? That's the only issue that I have, because if that's the case, then what if someone like LeBron has it, right? Then
man, I don't even know what would happen if someone like LeBron, someone like Giannis ended up getting corona.
Yeah, no, the league would. Oh man, we would probably not see the league for another.
The league would definitely implode. I don't know what would happen. That'd just be tough.
Yeah. Let's cross our fingers and hope that the season is gonna, remain as scheduled, and we'll be fine. But moving on, now we want to talk about all the different players who, are kind of against going back to resume the season, either because of the movement that's happening across the country or because of family, just trying to be safe with their family. So do you know all the different people and cases and everything?
Yes, some of the players that are opting out right now are Avery Bradley, Trevor Ariza, Davis Bertans, Willie Cauley-Stein, and DeMarcus Cousins. Those are some of the players there.
Yeah, so that's a lot. So I guess the one name that really stands out for me specifically is Trevor Ariza, because I've been talking to several people about how the Blazers are this close to making the playoffs, and it's really hard on them because now they're losing another key 3-and-D player.
Exactly. And 11 Ariza, points, 5 rebounds. He's pretty solid for the Blazers there. And if he's not going to come back, then there's going to be just another role player that's not going to be helping them out to get that extra game that they need.
Yeah. The main problem with them is depth in the first place, and then now you take another guy out of the equation. Things are turning very, very bad for the Blazers. Yeah, I hope they find a way to either sign someone or something like that. And speaking of signing people, let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins, because man, Oh, that
Yeah,
guy
just
has had some of the worst luck
worst
over the
luck,
past like
man.
year.
Tough draw for DeMarcus, man. At one point, he was the best center in the league, arguably a top five player in the league, also. And then now it's just he's hit rock bottom, man. So many injuries, man. It sucks, man. Because I loved watching DeMarcus Cousins just run people over and just dunk on everyone. But now it's just an ACL tear, a quad tear, an Achilles tear, man.
Yeah, no. If you guys don't know about Boogie Cousins, that man, he was arguably the best center in the league, and yeah, when he was on the Pelicans, Achilles, right, and then he comes to the Warriors, and everyone hates him for it, and then he tears his quad there, and
Yep.
then the Warriors lose, so he doesn't even get a ring, and he
Oh
signs to
yeah,
the Lakers.
doesn't even get his ring. His like pity ring.
Yeah,
Not
he
even
doesn't even
that.
get a ring. So that sucks also. Then he signs with the Lakers, and everyone's just like, oh my god, what's wrong with you?
I
So
know.
then
Jumping
yeah,
ship. Yeah, switching sides just like that.
he gets on the Lakers, and then what happens? He tears his ACL in the offseason. Like, that's him and John Wall, dude. Oh my god. They're literally made out of glass. Like, they cannot stay healthy.
It sucks, man. It sucks because both of them have so much potential and they have so much left to give, and their body is just like, yeah, that's just not gonna be the case, and they just can't keep getting injured. It's tough.
Yeah, no, it's actually really sad because, first of all, Boogie, if he was healthy, he might have gotten 2 rings so far, or at least by the end of this year. But he's just been moving all around the country trying to find something, and it's not working out for him. Just it's definitely kind of sad. And oh, also, I heard that John Wall wanted to sign him on the Wizards for next year. So maybe he goes there. Kentucky boys reunion.
Yeah,
See what happens. Two
injury
heavily,
buddies too.
two injury prone players.
Hey man, that 2010 Kentucky team though, that was some exciting basketball to watch. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely.
DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall. Who else was on that team? Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, Eric
Yeah.
Bledsoe. Yeah, that was like an all-time Kentucky team,
Oh
basically.
yeah. Yeah. Too bad they had to
Yeah,
lose in the Elite Eight against that West Virginia team to the
yeah,
Lakers.
oh, yeah. I remember that. Like, I never really followed it. I just remember like hearing about that a lot around that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I followed that team because they were so good, just so fun to watch, and damn, they really had to get heartbroken there in the Elite Eight. I forgot that one dude who just dropped them off. I forgot the name of him. Man,
Mm,
tough times,
yeah,
tough times.
yeah. If you ask me about college basketball, I'll literally be like Zion and RJ Barrett, and then that's kind of the end of the list for me.
Hey man, college basketball is so much fun to watch. You should definitely start watching it because like the players
Maybe.
play out of pure passion, really, and it's just so like
Yeah, I
like you
can
can
say that.
feel the energy. Yeah, it's really fun, especially when March Madness rolls around.
Which we don't know if we'll see it roll around in the,
Yeah,
for.
unfortunately, man.
I don't even know if we'll
Well,
get it next March, so. But
yeah,
fingers crossed as usual. And about a day ago, so Willie Cauley Stein opted out of his, like the season basically. He doesn't want to go to Orlando because I think you said that he's having a baby, right? That's
yeah.
the reason.
He's having
Yeah.
a baby in I think July.
Yeah, so because of that, Mavs get Trey Burke. And I don't
Yeah,
know, that's not exactly a replacement because obviously they play completely two different positions. I think Burke is like what, a wing? Yeah,
he's a
he's
point
like
guard. Yeah,
yeah, he's a point guard. Okay.
come
So
on, man.
I think,
Michigan alum, Trey Burke.
oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad. Did not know that. Anyways, there's one thing that I wanted to talk about relating. Oh yeah, Lou Williams. That's what I want to talk about. So, what do you think about Lou Will saying that he's 50-50 for the rest of the season?
I mean, I completely understand his take because especially with the corona and all that's going on, if he does choose to sit out, it makes total sense. But it's gonna be a huge loss for that Clippers team. Just like his leadership and his scoring off the bench is just so vital to the success of that team. It's gonna be a big blow if he chooses to
Yeah,
sit out.
yeah. Especially because I don't know really like when they match up with the Lakers. That's their main strength against the Lakers. The fact that they have so many. ball handlers and so many like just people who can go get a bucket whenever they need to.
Exactly,
The Lakers
exactly.
don't really have that. That's the main difference between those two
Yeah,
teams.
because when
And yeah,
LeBron and AD sits, like, who you gonna go to?
yeah, I hate it when people say stuff like, "Oh yeah, you have LeBron and AD. Who's gonna guard them?" Well,
They
you
can't
have
play 48
Kawhi.
minutes, man.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. So I don't
And
know.
then like
I feel like
grueling playoff series too, when like the competitiveness is gonna be at an all-time high. You cannot expect them to play every single minute. They're just gonna get so fatigued.
yeah, and coming back from what 4 months without playing, that's
Exactly,
something risky for someone like LeBron's age because you can't just go 0 to 60 on him.
exactly.
That's
I mean,
just
it's still LeBron. My man is Iron Man.
he
He's
is, but
crazy.
he is, but Father Time is undefeated, my friend. I do not. I want to see LeBron go head to head with Kawhi and see the Lakers and Clippers at full strength. We obviously don't know that because Lou Will is 50-50, Dwight Howard is 50-50. Oh, that's leading to the Lakers. Avery Bradley has decided to opt out of his his basic not his contract, but to finish the season with the Lakers. So they're definitely losing key pieces here or there, especially if Dwight Howard doesn't come back because then they don't have a proper replacement at the center
Mhm.
position. Because honestly, I feel like Dwight was playing better than JaVale for most of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's going to be a tough. I guess we're definitely going to see a lot of lineup changes, and going along with that, we're going to see some people getting signed because the Lakers are. I think they're giving J.R. Smith a workout, or they're considering
J.R.
signing him.
Smith, no way.
Yeah, so it's just like little rumors here or there, and I know that the JR thing is actually true because I think they're giving a workout soon, where like they're gonna kind of see what's up with him because he was trending like a couple days ago because of that.
Hmm.
But we'll see. Henny God, let's see if he can get back in the league, and I don't know. I feel like if they sign him, that could be a decent replacement for Avery Bradley.
Maybe if he's not washed and he doesn't do something head ass like he did in the playoffs.
Nah, I hope he doesn't do it.
Then again, he'll be off the Hennessy right when the season starts. For I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Orlando. Oh my God, he's gonna be the man's gonna be partying. Also, yeah, I don't know
Oh
if you
man.
saw this, but they released like the basically they're grouping different teams in like 3 different hotels once
Oh,
they
that's
get back
gonna
in.
be that might be a recipe for disaster.
Dude, it was so there's so many memes about that. The first like because they basically had like all the top tier teams right now currently seated in one hotel, and then like the middle of the pack, and then like obviously the lower seats in another
Uh,
one. And I saw comments like Zion, they're gonna be starving Zion while LeBron eating good, and
bro, Zion
yeah,
Loki
oh my
needs to be starved.
he's probably pushing 300 now. I don't even know.
300, man. Yeah, wasn't he? He was at what 285 when he came in the
Two
league.
six. Yeah, he was like 260, 280, something like. I think he
God
was
damn,
two
bro.
eighty in
Imagine an
college.
NBA
Came
player
back.
pushing
Yeah,
300 pounds at 6'7". That's crazy.
dude, I'm worried for him because he's gonna be super injury prone.
Charles Barkley 2.0.
Yeah, yeah. Except Charles Barkley was actually decently in shape when he was at his prime. Zion
Yeah, in
is
his
just
prime, but when he first came into the league, he gained a lot of weight because he didn't want to play for. I forgot who drafted him. Was it Philly?
yeah Sixers because
Yeah,
he would play with Moses Malone and Julius.
yeah. So
Yeah.
he gained a bunch of weight, and then Moses Malone kind of like put him in his place. Was like, "You bro, you gotta lose weight, you fat ass." Funny story.
Oh
But
man.
there's no like old leadership to like push him in the right direction. He's also playing with a bunch of young dudes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as of right now, I don't really see them doing much this year anyway. So I don't think that him losing weight immediately would be a big thing. But I know for sure that some report came out recently that basically several like NBA board of directors or something want a Zion versus LeBron playoff matchup because it would be kind of like a passing of the torch situation. I I don't know. I don't think will happen because the Pelicans need to get all their shit together, and the Grizzlies need to screw up really badly.
And
So
how can it be a passing of the torch? It really makes no sense.
yeah, it's
Especially
kind of
since
just their
LeBron
way.
wiped his ass with that Pelicans team. Like, LeBron isn't done yet. There's no passing of anything.
The only passing of the torch would probably be if the Bucks and Lakers played in the finals.
Yeah, and Giannis ends up winning. That would be a passing of the torch.
Yeah, but I feel like the Zion thing is probably just because they play similar positions, so you'll see them guarding each other, and Zion is supposed to be like the next big thing in the league, right?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
they're just trying to market that as much as possible, especially when the season resumes, right? Like you'll have all eyes on them. So I don't see the problem in that. I just think that I just hope that nothing happens so that the Grizzlies or the Blazers are kind of screwed over, which that probably won't happen.
I hope not, man. That'd be really bad. That'd be a bad look for the league.
That would be a terrible look for the league. That was like
just for ratings. If they made the Pelicans make the playoffs, that'd be hella bad for the ratings.
Yeah, kind of like when was it when Patrick Ewing was drafted? People thought they rigged the draft.
Oh yeah, or like Lakers Sacramento.
Yeah,
with that final series. Yeah. That was supposedly rigged too.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot when, but I remember listening to a basketball podcast, and someone said like the early 2000s Kings will be like the Rockets of our decade.
Yeah, they just get really close, but can never get over that hump.
Yeah, and people complain like continuously about refs and all that because of the Warriors and Rockets, all the different issues that come up during those series, which might make sense. But
yeah, Sacramento though they got hoed in that series. Like some of those calls were just so bad. My God.
Yeah, they definitely had a deep team. Also, they had such a great team. Like they beat Chris Webber, Vlade Divac. They had Peja obviously, and they had Gerald Wallace also. Then
Gerald Wallace too, man.
Yeah, they had Gerald Wallace. This is I think this is before he became as good as he really was on the Bobcats and on the
Man, when you reach your full potential on the Bobcats, that's tough.
Dude, that's what's his name? Bismack Biyombo. He reached his full potential on the Bobcats.
No, it wasn't on the Bobcats. It was on what was that one? He had 2 hella good playoff games. That was his potential. On what team? I forgot what team.
Let's look that up. we went on such a tangent, but this is funny. So
I don't know, but yeah, I don't remember this man.
It might be Orlando because he played on. Or
no, it wasn't. That's where he signed. That's where he signed. He got a bag after those 2 hella good playoff games, and then he just got a huge bag in Orlando, and he just sat on the bench.
Oh, then it's the Raptors. It's the Raptors, I think.
Yeah, I think it might have been the Raptors, where he just went off. My man was going crazy. And then he signed a bag in the offseason just to sit on the bench in Orlando. That was probably one of the funniest things I've seen.
Oh, my, yeah. How do we get to this?
What a name, though.
Bismack Biyombo.
Such a badass name, Bismack. Hell yeah.
Anyways, going back to the early 2000s Kings and all, they had a very deep team, and I understand obviously with the calls and everything, I could see why people thought that they were snubbed. But at the same time, I don't think that's what happened. I feel like obviously the league wanted the Lakers to be winners, but I don't think it would happen at that level where they're forcibly make the Lakers. I really don't think the league would have come to that kind of scenario. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. Some of those calls that I saw, it looked a little shady, man. I can't lie. But I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to the league that they wouldn't just straight up rig it, So.
Yeah, but okay, you have to give the Lakers credit though, because
Jason Williams too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they had Jason Williams. Yeah, this is a couple years after he was like really at it. Like I guess like prime Jason Williams was probably like when
Yeah.
he was giving those elbow passes. So this is like a
Oh yeah,
couple
yeah,
years
yeah.
after that. And then I think
Nick
like a
Anderson. Yeah.
yeah,
Team.
and I think a couple years after that he went to Miami and won the chip with D Wade and Shaq, right? Because he
Oh,
was one of the Jason Williams.
he was he on that team? Yeah, he was on that team.
Yeah, him, Tim Hardaway,
Yep.
D Wade.
And
Yeah,
Shaq.
that was a pretty deep team. I actually
Yeah,
like because
2006, right?
yeah, it's
Okay.
weird because like I'm learning all these teams from playing 2K, and like I'm looking at these rosters, I'm just like, yo, these are some great
Dwayne
rosters.
Wade,
Like
that final series, Dwayne Wade probably had one of the best series
single,
ever.
yeah, like
Yeah,
single
that was
player series. Yeah,
incredible. Oh my God.
yeah,
Dwayne Wade just took over.
he was about to go down 3-1, and then he pulled it somewhere from somewhere. He just pulled 6 games out, and boom.
Because it's D Wade, man. He's probably the third best shooting. He is the third best shooting guard
Yeah,
ever.
third best shooting guard. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So now that we came back to this like conversation about like standings and rankings and stuff, let's talk about award races because the
Bro,
award races
what a
for this
segue.
year. Yeah, no, we like we took a very bad tangent, went around in a couple circles, so we came back to where we needed to. So let's start off with let's go like small to large. So let's start off with Coach of the Year. Who do you
Okay.
think?
I think Nick Nurse should be coach of the year.
Nick Nurse, and why is that? What exactly? Because I disagree. I'm telling you that now. But go ahead. I want to hear you out.
Because the Raptors are damn good and they don't have Kawhi. That's a big crux of my argument. Is that despite like, the whole narrative that when people were doubting them coming into the season, like without Kawhi, they're ass, like they're gonna be so bad, and then boom, they're what second in the East,
Yeah, I think so. Second.
they're making a strong case that they're a good dark horse team to make the finals too. They just gel so well together as a team. Pascal Siakam has really taken that big step forward, and the coaching has just been incredible. And that's really propelled them to the state they're in right now. And just like overcoming that whole narrative too, coming off of a championship, and a lot of times teams coming off of a championship kind of struggle to get it going, but the Raptors really just went after it, and they're just killing it, man. So I might have to give it to
Yeah.
Nick Nurse.
Okay. I mean, see, I don't disagree with you. Like in the sense that like he's not like deserving of Coach of the Year, but I honestly think it should be Mike B because okay, for one, they're setting like so many records in terms of like team. I think something like fourth quarter scoring, 3 point scoring, like so many different statistical like categories. But the main thing that sets him like apart from Nick Nurse or maybe oh my, who's the coach of the Lakers? Frank Vogel. Yeah,
Yep.
Frank Vogel. I think the main thing is the fact that Mike, like he would play Giannis for like at least most of the season. He would play them for like 25 minutes max, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they would be up by like 30, and then he would just sit out. It would be kind of like when in 2016, right when the Warriors went 73-9. Steph would play like 25, 30 minutes a game, and they would be blowing teams out by halfway through the third quarter. So that's like the same thing that's happening with the Bucks, and I think that's the reason why he would probably win it. And I also think that it'll be kind of just like who has a better record, who is just like a better team in general. And I don't know. I feel like the Bucks are that kind of team that would be a really good regular season team, and that's because of Mike Budenholzer. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure out ways to explain this because I just think that it's because of their regular season success, which is a little better, which is definitely better than the Raptors.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, when you got Giannis and him just dominating in that
Yeah.
25 minutes, he's just gonna put up monster numbers. I'm not gonna take anything away from Mike Budenholzer. He's obviously put that team in a position to have a shot at the title.
Mhm.
But again, like I don't know, that whole narrative and that overcoming of the narrative, Nick Nurse has really just stepped up as a coach and just held his team to a really good placing. And I don't know. I guess we'll see come playoff time if they're for real.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the same thing for the Bucks, I guess. Also,
Yeah,
the main, I feel like the main like negative for Mike, and it's not really a negative. It's just kind of something that's unfortunate for a lot of people who won the past years. It's going to be voter fatigue, especially because he wasn't able to find a way to get even like one more game out of Toronto last year in the playoffs when they kind of just built a wall over like around Giannis or
yeah.
in front of Giannis, I'd say.
Mm,
And like when you did that well during the regular season, you shouldn't be just losing four straight games, right?
exactly.
Especially with the pieces that you have. Like yeah, obviously
Exactly.
people weren't making shots and stuff, but I feel like he should have figured out some way to incorporate other people into it, get people warmed up, so that even if Giannis like found a way to break in and then the defense collapsed, you'd still have shooters who can make shots. And unfortunately, that's not what happened.
Yeah, and see that's a problem because as a coach you should be able to you should like plan for that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If your star player is struggling, you should find a way to incorporate your other pieces. Because if you rely too much on your star player, then once he starts having a bad night, then it's all just gonna go downhill. And it's your job as a coach to make sure that doesn't happen and that you're like prepared for every scenario.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, I mean the Bucks won a bunch of games and Giannis is having a hell of a season, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see though.
yeah. We'll
We'll see
see. We'll
how
see.
it goes. How in the
Yeah,
playoffs,
we
how
have
they're
to.
gonna gel together as a team. And if they start blowing everyone out and sweeping them, then I'll eat my words, man.
All right. Okay. So uh, I picked Mike Budenholzer. You picked Nick Nurse for Coach of the Year. Let's see what happens. Now moving on to Rookie of the Year. So you know what? I think we agree on this. So I want you to say it at the same time. Three, two, one.
That's Ja
Ja
Morant.
Morant.
Yeah,
Yep. All right.
that's pretty obvious. I honestly can't see anyone else winning Rookie of the Year. Like
Yeah. No, he's that man. He has
he
some
is
firepower.
he has some fire in his eyes, man, and it's fun to watch. He's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be a problem in his career, man.
Yeah. And for anyone who argues Zion or Kendrick Nunn, these guys haven't played as many games or they haven't put up the same kind of numbers as Ja. So either way, he's winning both arguments. And
And plus, Ja has really stepped up. Like he's the leader of that team, straight up.
yeah, yeah, and
He's
yeah,
really
yeah,
like
like
encompassed that role as the leader of that team, and he knows his place and he knows what he's gonna do with that team, and it's gonna be fun to watch.
yeah. And because of that, you can actually use like team success as a factor in kind of like proving that Ja's rookie of the year because the Pelicans like stayed, I guess, like in the hunt for the eighth seed without Zion for most of the season, and
Hmm.
literally Ja was doing the same thing, except he was what 2 to 3 seeds ahead of the Pelicans the whole time. So you can see the clear weightage of his effect on the team as opposed to Zion, because even after Zion came back, they're still like a couple of seats behind the
Yeah,
Grizzlies. It's not like they just shot up suddenly. So I clearly think that Ja will be the rookie of the year. It'll just be kind of like Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell. It'll just be like both of them are really really good, but you could clearly tell who like that one of them like is really making an effect, and the other one just has like a deeper team, and without them playing, it wouldn't matter as much as like Ja would.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right, six man. Who do you think?
Six man. At first, I was gonna say Lou Williams, but now looking back, I think that Montrezl Harrell should take it.
Montrez Harrell. Do you think that if Lou doesn't come to the season, like doesn't come to Orlando, they would give him, or they would just eliminate him?
I think they. I don't know. I feel like it would definitely hurt his standings if he doesn't come back.
I mean, it is a regular season game, and you're playing 8 more games, so I don't know how much it would hurt him. But at the same time, I feel like the league wouldn't just like give a six-man award to someone who didn't even want to play the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like as someone who wouldn't want to be like that next one up kind of guy. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, continue with the Montrez argument because I actually want to hear you out about that.
Because like, Lou Will again. There's voter fatigue, so I don't know if the committee is gonna want to give it to him again. You know,
Yeah, I mean, he's won it so many times now, so I don't
exactly.
know. I don't know how much voter fatigue really affects him at this point.
But I don't know, man. Again, we'll see. I mean, there are other six men who've been killing it this year, and Montrez is definitely one of them. He's taken a big step up from last year. He's averaging 2 more points, more rebounds. He's averaging more blocks, bro. He's really coming in clutch for the Clippers defensively and just that spark off the bench.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think he's playing, so at least he'll have that presence, for if he's going to play.
Yeah, just he's been playing out of his mind, man.
Yeah,
And
no, he has, and
And
he's
although
definitely.
he doesn't have like the offensive prowess of Lou Williams, obviously, because Lou Will is just a natural bucket getter, but Montrezl Harrell's defensively and just he does the little things that don't show up in the box score, like setting screens and doing all that other stuff, just the little things that just push him over the edge, in my opinion. And he's just such a vital piece in that Clippers team, how they gel together as a team. So I
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
think
not
it
gonna
should be
argue.
Montrez, yeah.
I'm not gonna argue with the fact that Trez is a contender, but I definitely think that Dennis Schroeder of the OKC Thunder, would be a much, I guess, valuable piece for the Thunder as opposed to Montrez on the Clippers because the Clippers are so much deeper. Schroeder is basically I want to say their third option, right? Because
Yeah,
CP3,
Shy,
Shea,
CP3,
yeah,
Jay. Why did I say Shaq,
yeah,
bro? What the hell? Alright.
yeah, SGA. So yeah, so CP3, SGA, and then Dennis Schroeder. And I think that Schroeder, especially after Westbrook left the Thunder, he's been able to not only facilitate but also kind of put himself out there on the court as a scoring point guard, not just like someone who's feeding Russell Westbrook all night, right? I
Right.
definitely think that, and I forgot his numbers. Let me search them up real quick. But he has put up some really good numbers that are actually comparable to Lou Will, and I know that many people and even like NBA media and stuff have put Lou Will above Trez as a six-man contender. So if he's having comparable numbers to Lou Will, then I definitely think that he should get the award. Let's see. Okay, so summary. Okay, so for 1920 season, 19 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. Shooting 47% from the field, 38% from three, and 84% from the free throw line. So that's actually great for a point guard that's coming off the bench and that's not even um, known as as such as an amazing player. He's just kind of flying under the radar, and the Thunder are doing unexpectedly well. So you have to give it to him for being such a great point guard out coming off the bench.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. He's definitely a really good asset for that OKC team, and it could definitely go to him. I still think that Montrez deserves it, just because I think he has just a bigger impact in terms of not only scoring, because he's also averaging 19 points a game, but just his
Mm-hmm.
defensive prowess, his ability to rebound, block shots, set screens, just do the little things. Just he has such an all around game, and he's just so vital to that Clippers team.
Yeah, no,
And
I
he
can't
can just
argue with
match up
any
with
of
he
these
can
picks
match
at
up
this
with
point.
yeah he can match up with so many different players. Because if you need a defensive stop, then he could definitely give you one.
Yeah, no, the Clippers they all got Hall of Fame clamps, so
Exactly. Yeah.
can't argue with that. Anyway, moving on to let's do most improved next. So most improved player, I got Brandon Ingram, and I believe you said Bam Adebayo.
Yeah. I think
Um,
Bam Adebayo deserves it.
okay. Um, the thing is, the season it's been a while since we've watched basically anyone play, right?
Mm.
Um, for me, the way that I think about it is Brandon Ingram is their number one scoring option, and he's also a pretty good defender, and he kind of he was really close to being called a bust, right, when he was on the Lakers,
That's true.
playing with LeBron. So to go from basically almost being a bust, he was what, a second round, second pick, second overall pick, right?
Yep.
So he was so close to being a bust, and now he's averaging. I forgot what he was averaging, but I remember he had like his career high at like 50 something or 60 points, um, and he's leading the Pelicans in a lot of offensive statistical categories. So let's say, okay, so 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 46% from the field, 39% from the three, 86% from free throw line, and this is he's his PR is pretty high, 19. Um, I feel like he's more valuable um, as a player, and he's also like improved drastically. Like, what is his career stats? Let's see. So the previous year. Okay, so the previous year. Oh, okay. All right. Let's just use the Lakers stats as like an average. So he scored. Yeah, Basketball References just has way too many points, way too many numbers. Okay, so he averaged 14 points in LA, and he's averaging 24 now. I think that's like just that could give you a really really good case for winning MIP.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying. Brandon Ingram definitely has a larger role on his team than Bam. Though I think it's a little comparable, but Brandon Ingram definitely has a larger role. See, my case is just Bam has increased his stats and his overall level of play across the board. Like literally every single significant statistic, he has like bettered himself. And plus, like I followed that Kentucky team, and when he was in college, I genuinely thought when he was drafted, he's just gonna be one of those dudes that will just be a spark, you know? Like he would get you a dunk, he'll rebound some, you know, and he'll play solid defense down low. I thought that's all like his ceiling basically. Right? But for him to come in here and then in his second season not only make the All-Star team, but he's just improved in every facet of his game. And now he's just slinging passes around and he can defend like all five positions. I just think
Yeah,
that's
no, he actually played
incredible.
really good defense on Giannis when they played those few games
Exactly.
during the season. I was actually very impressed
Exactly.
because I didn't think he could actually play that kind of defense.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. And plus his playmaking is what's putting him over the edge. Because I didn't think in a million years my man would be slinging passes around and getting triple doubles and facilitating the offense. Like I really never thought that would happen from a dude named Bam. Like, come on. It's crazy, man. 5 assists a game.
Yeah,
He's like
16, 10, and 5. That's a crazy stat line, especially compared to his previous years, which was, well, last year was 9, 7, and 2. So yeah, that's a crazy improvement, especially because he's, let's see, okay, so his field goal attempts almost doubled from 6 to 11, and his field goal percentage has only decreased by like point
less
oh
than
one.
1%.
That
Yeah.
point, yeah, less than 1%. So that's actually really really good. Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard here because here you can't really. Um, I feel like with Brandon Ingram, without him, you don't see the Pelicans even getting close to the playoffs. That's my main
Right,
thing. Like
right.
he's improved so much from the Lakers that he's basically like putting them in contention for the 8th seed. And obviously, yeah, they're still a little behind, but he's the man who's the primary scorer, the person that you want to get a bucket at the end of the game. Especially like I remember, I don't know if you watched it, but the game against Utah when he and Donovan Mitchell
Hmm.
were just trading buckets the whole game. They both had career highs, and then Ingram hits like a kind of like the Kawhi shot on Sixers where he was like
Right, right.
fading right on the baseline, and that was a game winner. And I just remember he scored like 50 or 60 or something, and it was crazy. He was such an improvement from the Lakers days because Lakers days, oh man, I was kind of
Yeah,
disappointed
LeBron kind of
because
like overshadowed him.
yeah,
See, but
I don't
you
know.
know, you could also make the argument that without Bam Adebayo, Miami wouldn't be in the spot they're in, just because of his overall impact, scoring, rebounding, defensively, and playmaking. He's just all there, you know. And without
Yeah.
him, I don't know if Miami would be another dark horse to make a deep playoff run.
Hmm. Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. But okay, the one thing that I think differentiates them is at the beginning of the season, right? Did you expect Brandon Ingram to? Okay, actually, no, I should rephrase that. If I were to give you the current roster for the Falcons in the beginning of the year, would you say that he was the best player or Zion was the best player?
Um, see,
Because
I
I think that matters.
see, I probably give it to Brandon Ingram just because he had more experience in the league, because it's Zion's rookie year, of course. And
Hmm.
see, I knew he would take a step up because he's not overshadowed by LeBron anymore. I did not expect him to take that big of a step. And I guess like
Hmm.
if you were to make a case over him over Adebayo, it would just be his just taking on a much larger role than what
Yeah,
Adebayo's doing, you know? Because
yeah. I feel like
they're
it's
really
more like
leaning on they're really leaning on Brandon Ingram to be like a star player, like that player that you just drop it to him and he'll take that last shot and he'll be like your
hmm.
go-to guy, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Whereas on Miami, you have Jimmy Butler, and he's most
Hmm.
likely going to be taking that last shot.
Yeah, actually, you have a couple of different people who could be taking the last shot. You got Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler. Like these are people
Even
that you
Bam,
could
bro. Even
trust.
Bam. Down low, he could
Even
just get
Bam.
you a bucket, yeah.
Yeah, but like we're talking about like um, not even backcourt, just like people who could handle the ball. I mean, Bam can handle the ball, but I'm
Oh,
saying people
Bam
who
can
can.
definitely handle a ball, bro. I've seen multiple
Yeah,
videos of that man
he
just
won,
having
he
hand.
won the skills challenge.
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
how he could handle the
He's
ball.
just, I think he's more overall, he's overall a better player than Brandon Ingram. Because Brandon Ingram's much better scoring wise, but in
Hmm.
terms of like defense, rebounding, playmaking, Adebayo's better than him.
Okay. I think I don't know. I probably have to think about it and rewatch some of their highlights to really see. But yeah, I can see that, especially because he's leading in more statistical categories than Ingram. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to defensive player of the year. So this one is pretty, I guess, like heavily contested, especially because both of them are also MVP candidates. Well, they're kind of MVP candidates, right? So we got Giannis and AD. I said Giannis. You said AD.
I think it's AD just cut and dry. Like I don't think there's a case for anyone else, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I
Why don't you
genuinely
think there's a case for Giannis?
just because of how dominant AD has been defensively this season, especially since he's had to shoulder the defensive load since LeBron is doing a lot of the doing a lot on the offensive end as well. So like, and he's just leading in so many like key statistical categories in terms of defense. He's just awesome. I don't know how
Yeah,
else to
no,
say it.
he's
Just
yeah,
defensively,
no,
he's just been absolutely incredible.
yeah. AD is obviously a great defender, and he's amazing on offense. He's a PR prince, right?
Yeah,
Um,
he's first in total blocks and blocks per game, second in defensive win shares, third in defensive rating, and eighth in defensive box plus minus.
yeah. For me, I just think that like if you put them on, like if you were to individually compare like their effect, right?
Hmm.
Um, the Lakers, they have two other really great, like I mean not great, but like really good big men as defenders. It'd be Dwight Howard, who's leading the league in blocks, right? And then JaVale
No,
McGee,
no,
who we
that's
know.
Anthony Davis is leading the league in blocks,
Oh
bro.
yeah, okay, never mind. My bad. So AD is leading in blocks. So okay, obviously that goes towards him. Uh, for me, I
And
just think
plus, you,
that.
you could even look at a versatility standpoint because a lot of big men, once they get if they get isolated on the perimeter, it's wraps, right? The guard is just gonna take them to town. But AD can switch onto the perimeter, and he's still a very good defender.
I was about to get to that though, because I think that Giannis would be better at guarding all five positions than AD,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
because he
if
plays
you
like
just
a
look at
guard.
versatility in terms like you can't even have an argument for Anthony Davis just being a down low defender because he can defend on the perimeter as well.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
although Giannis is better like in terms of switching onto all five positions, AD
Hmm.
can also do it.
Yeah, he definitely can. I'm not arguing with that. He definitely can. And we've seen that so many times. Like I remember when the Lakers played the Nets, he got an ISO. He was put on an island on Kyrie, and that's like, oh man, that must be
Yeah.
so scary. But
Oh, dude. Yeah, I'd be so
he
if I was guarding Kyrie. Bro, oh my god.
like Kyrie got past him, but then AD just blocked that like into the third row, and it was, oh man, it was such a great defensive play. When I watched that, I thought about it, and honestly, like this is unfortunate that this happens. Like we talked about it before with voter fatigue, but I don't see a way that and we'll get to this obviously. I don't see a way that Giannis would be able to win both MVP and defensive player. I think that's
Mhm.
like it's so rare for and also because people don't even like have a like I guess like most people now they don't even view him as the best player in the league. And for you to win MVP and defensive player, you're basically saying that you're the best on offense and defense, right? And
Yeah.
if you're
Wait, has
not
that
the
happened
best,
before?
uh, I want to say Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I feel like
Wait,
Jordan
I'm gonna
probably did
look this
anything.
up. Who has won?
Jordan probably won it in the early '90s. Yeah, Jordan and Olajuwon. Yeah, so I feel like Olajuwon. So let's see. Jordan won it in 1988, and Olajuwon obviously in 1994, because they were both just dominant, absolutely dominant those years.
Jordan and Olajuwon both won both awards in the same season, so only two
Yep,
players. Yeah.
yeah, just them two. See,
Okay.
that's and think about the like. Okay, obviously we didn't watch them back then, but just think about the effect that they had on their teams, right? Like
True, but you
these
could argue that Giannis also has a similar role and a similar impact too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I
Because
feel
you're
like
just
it's different
viewing it in the
now, though.
lens of it's Jordan and Olajuwon. But if you really look at like modern day and you look at it in the scope of modern day, he has had a similar impact definitely on that team.
Yeah, I don't know. I would want Giannis to win because he's like consistently such a great defender for all five positions, and he's for his help side defense is just or his weak side defense is just amazing. The way that he can get like I feel like they talk about Zion having like amazing help side defense, but Giannis is like the true embodiment of that because he can just come out of nowhere and block shots and get rebounds and everything. Like he's averaging what 13 rebounds or something. Like my God,
Yeah,
man.
true. But yeah, man, like AD is just better statistic wise and honestly just he's just a better defender in my opinion. His
Mm-hmm.
footwork, his like IQ, the way he's able to switch on to different people, and just his down low presence. Like it's really tough to get a shot up against that type of length and that type of coordination. Because
Yeah,
you're just gonna get your shit contested every time you go to the rack with AD, and more likely than not, he's just gonna send that shit back.
yeah. Okay, I mean, I feel like this one will probably go to AD because of voter fatigue, but Giannis definitely has a case for it because of just
Yeah,
how
yeah, for
dominant he
sure.
is on both ends of the floor.
Also,
Yeah. And
Gobert has a shot
speaking,
at it too, though it's a little less.
uh, I don't know about Gobert this year because the Jazz they're a little lower than they were in previous years, right? Because of that, I
Mhm.
don't think that.
I
Um,
mean, he did shut down the entire league himself, so defensively, that's probably the best you can do.
I've seen that joke so many times.
I don't care. It's still hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so. What he did was so head ass, man.
Oh
My God,
yeah. Oh my god. It's like y'all are worrying too much. Just
just
starts
wild,
touching
man.
everything. Oh man. Anyways, our last award race discussion is going to be obviously. I want to say it's the most important one because it's the one that kind of defines people's careers after
Yep.
they're done. And this one is interesting because we actually are saying the same person. We're saying that Giannis Antetokounmpo will be winning the most valuable player award.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think
think.
about this?
I think it's honestly pretty easy to say Giannis. He's just been far and above the best player in the league this year. And I guess there was like a couple weeks where LeBron may have outclassed him a bit, but that doesn't eclipse the fact that throughout the season, Giannis has just been as dominant as you can be, really.
Mm-hmm.
because like he's a one man wrecking crew, man. You can't stop him. Just scoring, passing, rebounds, blocks, everything. He's at MVP. He's the MVP, and he has turned that Bucks team into a real threat in the East, man.
Yeah, yeah. If you guys want to know the stats, he's averaging 29.6 points, 13.7 total rebounds, and 5.8 assists. That's historic number. That's like Shaq level numbers right there. Like,
Exactly,
so I
exactly. And he
remember.
can't even shoot. That's the best part. His shot isn't even that good. He's just doing this all in the paint and a little bit outside the paint.
Okay, he might not be able to shoot, but he's definitely improving on
Oh yeah, yeah,
okay,
for sure.
his percentages are like around the same, but that's also because he's improved. Like he's increasing his field goal attempts. Like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, 3 point attempts. Now he averages about 5 per game as opposed to 2 or 3,
Hmm.
and his 3 point percentage is 30%. So it still requires a decent amount of work. My only worry for him is the fact that he might not be able to, I guess, like get through those kind of walled defenses like Toronto had, and the fact that now it's not like, yeah, obviously he's incredible and people can't really guard him, but I feel like throwing more bodies on him is actually working to a certain extent. Like the Heat had done that, the
Hmm.
Raptors did it last year, the Lakers kind of did that with putting LeBron, AD, Dwight, JaVale, like everyone on him. It's just they really, I feel like teams know a way to tire him out. That's my only worry for him. But man, just historical numbers for Giannis, just amazing.
Yeah, man. It's so much fun to watch him just go to work. And if he develops a viable 3 point shot, man, it's over. Like, how are you
Yeah.
even gonna stop him? Because you sag off of him, he's just gonna splash in your face. And if you
Hmm.
guard up on him, maybe he's just gonna brush you aside, take 3 steps, and dunk on your head. Like, what are you even gonna do?
Yeah, the Euro, the what's it, the in and out Euro step
Euro step, man. Yeah,
dunk is just
it's
that's
crazy.
unguardable. It is
It is
unguardable.
unguardable, man. 6'11" and he moves like that, man.
Hmm.
That's scary,
Yeah,
man.
but for those of you listening and who think that LeBron is a clear MVP, or he's at least in the running, let's talk about stats first because obviously everyone cares about that. 25.7 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 10.6 assists. So he's averaging a double double, damn near triple double actually. Um, so props to LeBron for doing that, especially in what year 15, year 16, right?
Yeah,
Um,
16, I think.
age yeah, year 16, age 35. Just these are historic numbers also because of the I guess like the effect that he has on his team, especially
Right.
now playing point guard as opposed to
Small forward, power
small
forward.
forward or power forward. Yeah, I mean he usually plays the primary ball handler in the first place. Um, I guess the main reason for why he wouldn't win MVP, and like I feel like this is such a trend, but um, it's because he has AD on his team. And when you have another like MVP caliber or MVP like contender, right?
Right.
It's really hard for you to win MVP. It was like those years when Shaq and Kobe played together. They both were arguably the best players on the planet, yet they kept just stealing votes to each other. And who AI would win it one year. Tim Duncan won it one year.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's just, and same thing for when the Warriors were together with KD and Steph. Like they both were top three, top five players in the league, except they couldn't win MVP because you knew that when one of them was down, the other one would be playing well, and that's the same thing that happened to the Lakers. I remember one game, LeBron probably had like less than, I think it was like 15 points or something, right? And AD had like 35, and I'm like, yo, how are you supposed to stop this in the playoffs? Like even if you
Right.
can find a way to contain LeBron, you still got AD. Like he's basically the next big thing, with Giannis and stuff. So it's really hard for people to make a case for LeBron, especially seeing like what 10 games, that 10 game stretch where he was just going full on like zero dark 23 or whatever
Oh yeah.
his slogan is for the playoffs. Um, Leading, he's had some career highs this year. I think one of them is assists, obviously because he's playing point guard for most of the time.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just Giannis is doing like Shaq kind of things, historic numbers, and he doesn't have the same supporting cast as LeBron. So
Yeah,
This is a
because
classic
Chris
story in the
Middleton
league.
is he's just not Anthony Davis at all.
Yeah, he's definitely not. And we've seen this. This is a classic NBA story. We know that if you have a better team, regardless of the kind of numbers that you put up, you're probably not going to win the MVP because you'll probably have another guy stealing MVP shares from you. And that's the same thing that LeBron has with AD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's why I think Giannis should definitely win
Yep.
MVP.
Giannis. So just to recap, we got Giannis MVP. Um, I think Adebayo will probably win MIP after listening to you. I guess go on a little about how versatile he's improved his game to be.
Yeah.
Six man, Schroeder or Montrez or Lou Will. We don't know. Depends on if he plays.
You made a good case for Schroeder because he was definitely like third place for me, but he's up there. Like he could definitely snag it.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, AD. Giannis is not going to win it because if he wins MVP, they're not going to give him both. Rookie of the Year, Ja Morant.
Easily. Yeah.
Easy. And Coach of the Year, I could see Nick Nurse winning it, but Mike Budenholzer also has a very, very good case for the award.
A lot of times they just give it to the coach with like the best team.
Yeah.
Best team record wise.
Yeah. So I guess that's pretty much it for today. We covered the current news, and we finally got out our award race podcast, which we've been planning for months now, right? Almost.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, honestly, it's been so long. We finally got that out. Next week we'll give you guys more updates or something like that, and then maybe I'll probably go on Twitter, kind of find some hot takes or something like that, or stupid takes, and then we'll discuss that. I like having those kind of we'll kind of debate them, have some discussions about that. I feel like those are more entertaining, especially because we're kind of running out of current event content for the NBA. So we'll definitely go into that and see what we can do. So yeah, do you have any last words?
Yeah. Thanks for watching. This is just a good time killer for sure.
Yeah, I've had several people tell me that they like to listen to this while doing some busy work or something like that, which is great because obviously we're just trying to do this to entertain people and kind of just talk about the sport that we love. So yeah, thanks again for listening. And since it's probably going to be on YouTube, just give us some love there so that we can we have motivation to keep going, I guess.